We never found anything on Jack. There's no record of him at all.
No, there wouldn't be, would there? And I've never spoken of him until now. Not to anyone. Not even your grandfather. A woman's heart is a deep ocean of secrets. But now you know there was a man named Jack Dawson, and that he saved me in every way that a person can be saved. I don't even have a picture of him.
I'm Vanessa Zoltan.
I'm Hannah McGregor.
And this is Hot and Bothered. Hannah, before we get started today, can I brag about you?
Oh my God, please do.
You have a new book out today.
I do.
It's called Clever Girl. It is about Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it sure is. Clever Girl is part of a wonderful indie Canadian press, ECW's Pop Classics series, which are very, very, very short little books about a single pop culture property. The whole series is great, and they're really fun short reads. Mine is about Jurassic Park, and it is specifically about reading Jurassic Park as a queer feminist utopia in which monstrous women rise up and destroy the techno-capitalist structure that men have built around them to cage and exploit them, and think about this movie as a sort of toolbox in our collective apocalypse survival kit as we face a sort of nightmarish future in which techno-capitalism has run wild, and we must take up the mantle of the velociraptor and devour those who would imprison us. So if that sounds like a set of ideas you'd like to spend some time with as I over-identify with murder dinosaurs, check it out.
The only thing I would change about what you just said is over-identify.
As I identify the exact right and normal amount with the murder dinosaurs. I actually got one of the velociraptors tattooed on my thigh. So I have a clever girl with me at all times, reminding me that sometimes you just have to disembowel those who would control you.
Amen. Everybody go get your copy. Clever Girl is out today. Hannah, congratulations on another sort of like feat of genius. It is an honor to be in your life and watch you create these things.
Thank you so much. I love this book, y'all. I think you might also love it.
Okay, now that you have done that, can you please summarize what happens in the ending of Titanic, which is what we're doing today? We are talking about the endings, the happily ever afters and not of Titanic.
So I think that we could think about this movie as having, let's say, 4 endings. So ending 1, Rose and Jack end up in the water. Jack insists that Rose take his life vest and float on the piece of debris they found, the door, and that he stay in the water to maximize the possibility of her surviving. And he gives her a speech about why what matters to him most is that she lives. And not just lives as in survives, but lives as in lives the rich, interesting life that she wants to have. And she, I think, falls asleep from the cold. And when she regains consciousness, he has died in the water. Where would you end that ending?
I would end that ending with her saying, I will never let go, I will never let go, and her physically letting go, and people losing their minds because she, like, quote unquote, really let go. But that's not what she's saying, everybody.
Yeah.
And so she is like, I won't let go of what I promised you, and of remembering you, and of honoring you, and of loving you. And she doesn't say all of that because she is freezing to death and trying to get rescued.
Yeah. And she won't let go of the promise that she made to him and the life that she has promised to live, even though that life is not always going to be easy. And in that moment, we watch poor, beautiful Leo sink into the frozen depths.
Yeah.
And then she hears a lifeboat going by, and she's too far away and she's too cold to yell.
And Kate Winslet's performance here is amazing, where she's help, help.
I know. It's devastating. And then we see, like, immediately she is living up to the promise that she made him, because she does not give up in that moment. She somehow forces her, like, totally frozen body to swim over to...
Back into the water
to swim over to a corpse and pry the frozen whistle from his hand and blows the whistle until they hear her and come back for her. And then we see her on the rescue ship in the area for the steerage passengers. And we see Cal, Billy Zane's character, looking for her. You know, he's told, you won't find anybody you're looking for. This is poor people. And we see her make the decision to hide her face from him and to give the name Rose Dawson, so that as far as her family and her fiance are concerned, she died in the water.
Ending 2.
Ending 3, we return to our frame narrative featuring old Rose and Bill Paxton.
With his earring.
With his beautiful earring, his beautiful piratical earring. And we get the revelation that the gorgeous, priceless diamond necklace that Bill Paxton has been looking for this whole time has actually been in her possession. And we get like a little flashback where she realizes it's in the pocket of the coat that she's wearing. And we see her pull it out and contemplate it and then drop it into the water with a fun little whoop noise. Whoop. Real iconic moment, you know, and make the decision that this treasure that they have been looking for will disappear into the ocean. And then she goes to sleep.
Ending 3.
I think ending 3 maybe ends with like the camera panning over the photos that she insisted on bringing with her.
Which I love these photos. These photos make me cry every time.
The photos are wonderful.
Riding astride the horse at the Santa Monica Pier, being like, look, I did it, Jack.
Yeah, he was going to teach her how to ride like a man, and he's not there to do it, but she still did it for him.
Yeah. And at the Santa Monica Pier, where he drew portraits for 10 cents each. You know, like, I'm sorry. I love each of these photos so much.
And I think that's really important that we see her drop the necklace and then the camera's like, but look at the photos.
Yeah.
So there's a deleted ending where instead of this sort of vaguely subtle conclusion, we have her give a lecture to Bill Paxton about how, like, real wealth doesn't lie in physical things. Real wealth lies in the experiences that you have every day and living a full life and caring about the people around you. Like, it's so cheesy. But instead, it's doing it sort of, you know, slightly more subtly by being like, she drops the diamond. We see the photos. They are the rich life that she has lived. They are the way in which she didn't let go as she promised. Third ending of movie.
Yeah.
Psych, one more. So now the camera goes down and is like moving through the sunken wreck of the Titanic, and slowly through movie magic, it transforms back into the sort of quote unquote present day version that James Cameron has. I guess the past day for
the
confusing.
Past one.
The historical one, but that is actually the newer one that James Cameron built for the movie, but is supposed to be the one in the past. So like we see the Titanic become restored, and then we see Rose. We're actually in Rose's viewpoint, like the camera sort of operates as her eyes as she returns young and beautiful again. Now she returns to the grand staircase, and everybody who died on the Titanic is gathered around. People from all different classes, all different sort of levels are all in the same space. Jack is waiting for her at the grandfather clock, which is forever stuck at I think 220, the time that the ship sunk, and they are reunited, possibly in heaven, possibly in a dream, unclear, but they are together again, and everybody who is gathered round applauds. The fourth end.
I would say I like 3 out of 4 of these endings. What about you?
I mean, my favorite ending is the deleted ending, the one that I just mentioned where Rose makes the subtext text in a classic James Cameron movie magic moment. In that version, Bill Paxton sees the necklace. She actually lets him hold it for a second and then pulls it out of his hand and drops it in the ocean in front. No, she doesn't drop it. She tosses it backwards over her shoulder. She goes, what? And tosses it into the ocean. And the other treasure hunting guy, the one who's always wearing graphic tees and has a beard, he runs over to the edge and he looks at it sinking in the water and he goes, that really sucked, lady.
And they can go get it tomorrow.
That really sucked, lady. Which is I wish I could have that soundbite on a button.
Yeah.
I could just play.
That really sucks, lady.
Anyway, so that's my actual favorite ending. But I would say there's diminishing returns with each subsequent ending. The most emotionally powerful ending is I'll Never Let Go. But, it's still important to see her save herself and make those decisions. So that is good. It's not quite as emotionally powerful. And then we see her old Rose throw the necklace in the water, which I honestly have never understood as a metaphor. And we can unpack that together. What exactly this necklace is supposed to be a metaphor for, unclear to me. And then the least satisfying one for me is the weird, possibly her dying, possibly her just having a cool dream, because that is so weird and so forced as a scene.
So the thing to me, just to take the last one first, I do think that she's supposed to be dead. Jack says you're going to die an old lady in your bed, and she's dying an old lady warm in her bed. What I truly think that scene is about is James Cameron being like, look, I did it, and sort of giving himself a round of applause / standing ovation. I really do.
Putting a standing ovation at the end of your movie for your movie is exactly the kind of cringe move that this guy would for sure do.
The theology of this does not make sense. Why would all of the people who died on the Titanic be welcoming her, someone who didn't die on the Titanic? So it's more dream than actual heaven, but also I do think she's dead. So I truly think that this is just James Cameron taking a bow. I, in general, have a real problem with the last 30 seconds of movies like this. I hate the last 30 seconds of Schindler's List. I hate the last 30 seconds of The Departed. I hate the last 30 seconds of Lincoln. I just feel like there's a certain kind of male director that's let me explain to you my movie and how you just watch something great.
Yeah, Killers of the Flower Moon ends the same way, with a moment that's hey, do you get that you just saw a movie? This movie was a movie. Do you get it? And it's yeah, bro.
I just can't. It really annoys me. And so I just hate that last ending.
So part of, I think, what I find so cringy about this last ending, beyond, I agree, it's theological nonsense. Why would this be her heaven? I also connect it to the moment when Rose says that there's no other record of Jack's life. And so remembering him is the thing that she can do, which introduces the idea that there is ethical value in the commemoration of otherwise unmarked lost lives. For me, it's not just him congratulating himself on pulling off this movie. It's also him congratulating himself on the ethical act of witnessing that brought back these unseen lives and these untold stories that really is trying to convince you, the viewer, that what you just sat through for 3.5 hours was not the exploitation of human tragedy, but rather was an ethical process of bearing witness. I really think that he's trying to do a thing in this scene where he's see, what we did here was good.
Yeah. Very after school special.
Yeah.
And as the romance lover in me, I I love watching Rose and Leo make out at the end. I'm like, yes, two hot people kiss again. I love it.
Beautiful. And their chemistry in this movie is off the frickin' charts.
The two of them kissing, I'm like, yes, let's stand up and applaud at beauty. And I'm also someone who like really does appreciate someone who's going to put a ton of effort into entertaining me. I'm just like, thank you, James Cameron. Thank you.
You made so much movie.
You made so much movie. I would like to be given the opportunity to applaud on my own. I don't feel like I need direction to applaud. Can we talk about the oop? I dropped the heart of the ocean into the ocean. So, Hannah.
So Vanessa.
So this moment sort of goes back earlier in the movie. I would say there's a moment where Cal starts laughing while the ship is sinking. And he says to his valet / personal cop, the necklace is in the coat. And I put the coat on her. And from then, this is like Chekhov's coat pocket. You know, this is like the most incredible coat pocket ever, where you can like sink and it stays in your coat pocket.
It's a heavy necklace.
It is a heavy necklace. So from then we know that like the necklace is with Rose. And like obviously we like most likely lose track of that, but we know that Rose now has this necklace. This necklace symbolizes his trying to own her, Cal trying to own her. But the necklace throughout the film has also symbolized Rose has Jack draw her with nothing but the necklace on her as a way to show Cal that she is leaving him and has cheated on him to some extent.
That he can't own her.
Exactly. You can own this drawing, but you can't own me.
Yeah.
This necklace is also how they have attempted to frame Leonardo DiCaprio, Jack. This necklace also symbolizes that Rose believes Jack and doesn't think that Jack cares about material things and cares more about her than the necklace, whereas Cal cared more about the necklace than Rose, right? Like, this necklace has symbolized a lot throughout the film.
It also symbolizes the fall of the aristocracy, because the way that it got cut into that shape is because it was on the neck of Louis XVI when he was beheaded as part of the French Revolution. And that's what cut it into this shape. And it's found its way back into the hands of a corrupt, wealthy man. But like, it also symbolizes like the fall of this aristocratic power and the return of power into the hands of the people. So it's heavy. It's heavy with symbolism. A professor of mine, an English professor of mine, called like heavy-handed, obnoxious symbolism smibolism. Mm-hmm. I keep thinking like James Cameron loves some smibolism, but it's called the heart of the ocean. And at one point, Rose says to her granddaughter and Bill Paxton, "A woman's heart is a deep ocean of secrets," which I will count among some of the worst lines a man has ever written for a woman to say. Absolutely a bonkers thing to say, but a woman's heart is a deep ocean of secrets. Also encourages us to think of the necklace as the secrets that Rose will take to her grave. The stories that she won't share, the experiences that don't get passed on, like, you know, the beating heart of her love for Jack. That's her deep ocean of secrets that she's going to drop into the deep ocean of secrets.
So what is the version of this that you like? The one that I like is in the version of the movie that we see. They're done searching for the necklace. And so she's like returning the necklace. This is the burial site of Jack, right? Like she has never been able to bring him flowers. She's like never been able to really honor him. She's never spoken about him, not even to her husband, which I don't know. I feel a little sad for her husband, but that's fine.
I also feel a little sad for her husband and for her. Like,
I know. I'm like, I feel like he would have understood. But so the thing that I like about it is like, here, I still trust you with it. And like, this is the most valuable thing I own. It has meant nothing to me except for my memory with you. So I want it to be with you.
Yeah.
That's my most generous reading that I love.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it as flowers. I like it as like, this didn't mean anything to me as an object of wealth, but it's a thing to lay on your grave.
Yeah.
Oh, I just made myself sad.
Here's the thing. We were really critical of this movie. I really do feel a little bit like shaken by James Cameron being like, do you get it, Vanessa? And I'm like, yes, I do. And yet at the end of the day, I really do. I love this movie. I love its earnestness. As much as it's like cynical on a marketing level, I do think that there was like an earnest desire to tell a story that like James Cameron is deeply inspired by and overwhelmed by. And I think it's ethically complicated, but I also just like, I get sucked in just like Jack and Rose get sucked down in with the ship, but they kick up because for some reason Leonardo DiCaprio understood that that was going to happen. Yeah. I really get sucked in every time and like feel deeply emotional for like days after watching this movie. I loved rewatching the first half of this movie. I had a great time with the first half of this movie. It's beautiful. Everybody is beautiful to look at. It's funny. Their chemistry is great. There's fun, sexy adventures. They run through the place where they're with a fire and then they have sex in a the scene where he's pretending to be her carriage driver and then she grabs him from behind and yanks him into the carriage. Like there's so many great, adorable interactions between the two of them. It's such a charming, genuinely charming romance. I don't have the constitution to watch people die for an hour and a half. I don't position that as moral in any way. You know, I wrote my dissertation on books that attempt to commemorate scenes of human atrocity. So books about like the Vietnam War, the Cambodian genocide, the Ethiopian famine. So I spent like a chunk of my life intensely engaging with the question of the ethics of looking at human suffering. And for better or for worse, it has broken my capacity to do that without being like fully devastated for weeks or months afterwards. I just can't do it. Well, I don't think that our romance podcast is going to look at this level of suffering and atrocity, at least for a while. Great. So I think you're safe for a little while.
Whew. I need some whimsy after this.
Well, next week, Lauren Sandler and I are going to be watching Dirty Dancing, another cross-class love story in one of my favorite films of all time. I'm so excited.
And may I also, perhaps as a little sort of bookend plug, point out that the last book in the ECW Pop Classics series before Clever Girl was my beloved friend Andrea Warner's book, The Time of My Life, which is about dirty dancing and is a wonderful historical analysis of Dirty Dancing as a radical abortion rights movie.
It is.
Yeah, it sure is.
You've been listening to Hot and Bothered. We are a small show, so we need your support to run. If you can, please consider supporting us on patreon.com/hotandbotheredrompod. If you love the show, please consider leaving us a review wherever you are listening. We are a Not Sorry production. We're a feminist production company. I'm the executive producer, and we are edited and produced by Ariana Nettleman and distributed by Acast. Thanks as always to our soulmate level patrons, Molly Reilly, who we would chase through an airport to declare our love to, Becky Boo, who we would wait for hours on the top of the Empire State Building for, Elizabeth Schweinsberg, whose heart we would play a game of one-on-one basketball for, and Lauren Byer O'Connell, who we would call up on stage to dance with us in front of the whole summer camp. And to our wonderful team, Julia Argy, Nikki Zoltan, AJ Aramas, Courtney Brown, and Stephanie Paulsell.